It's Keystone Film Review with
Elizabeth Lyle, Matthew Lillard, musical guest Freddy Fazbear. Keystone Film Review. We just saw Five Nights at Freddy's. Ooh. Directed by Emma Tammy. Written by Scott Cawthon and Seth. Based on the thing by the Scott Cawthon, the game series. And oh my God, written by Seth and Emma. Oh, Emma also. Chris Lee Hill. People. Those people. I'm having some kind of thing going on with my brain where I can't read things. Emma Tammy, Chris Lee Hill, Tyler McIntyre, Seth Cuttleback. I keep wanting to say Cuddlebutt, but that's not his name. It is starring Josh Hutcherson, Piper Rubio, Elizabeth Lale, and Matthew Lillard, as well as other people who aren't nearly as important as those four. And this, of course, is based on the video game series. I believe it's an indie game. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're the video game expert here.
It's a little horror indie game that I never got into because I'm a hipster and don't get into the popular things.
My roommate made me watch him play it because he thought I would find it funny. I did for a little bit. Of course, everyone probably knows of this game if they know about Markiplier. He's kind of... I kind of feel like he blew up playing this game. I could be wrong.
It was one of his many.
One of his many. Like he's had many boosts through his career, and I feel like that was one of them. So yeah, I mean, neither of us were fans of the game, so neither of us were really that excited for this. And so we saw it anyway because it's the only thing that came out. Glenn, what did you think?
I actually was intrigued by the trailer because I knew by the fan base that it could be a popular movie, that it could have been. Like, it could be, well, most video game movies aren't well done, but this one could have been well done, and that it could have had a pretty good grasp, pretty good chokehold on the theaters for maybe a couple weeks. But lo and behold, it's coming out on Peacock, like, the next day after its movie release. So, there goes that aspirations and dreams.
I don't know if they're advertising that a lot, because the theater was pretty packed for a Thursday night.
Yeah, but I guess after Friday, the sales just go... just drops right down. So I guess some people know about it, and I think they're talking about it maybe on the interwebs somewhere, but I don't know.
I mean, there's also going to be a fan base that wants to see it in theaters, because regardless of what people think about the pandemic, there's people that legitimately like going to see movies in the movie theaters, so movie theaters are not, while they're definitely slower than they used to be, they're not going anywhere.
Yes.
So.
From the first trailer, I actually enjoyed it. I was like, well, this could actually be really good. And then the next couple trailers just showed more and more, and I was like, fuck, well, they just showed the whole movie. Why do I care anymore?
Yeah.
To an extent, I was proven wrong from those trailers. But they shouldn't have showed that much to begin with in the first place. So, but yeah, I actually enjoyed this movie more than I thought I would. At least from the last couple trailers, because I thought it was going to be straight up like that. There was enough in the movie where I was still a little bit surprised because I thought I nailed it to a fucking peg. Luckily, it didn't exactly go like that. So, at least there was a little bit of surprise from that.
The trailer definitely has like a red herring where it's just like you're watching and you're like, they just showed the ending. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But it definitely goes a different direction. And it's not necessarily I don't even want to say it's like a bad direction. It's just, it's different. It's different from what I thought it was going to be from the trailer. It had a lot of moments that I thought were interesting emotionally from Josh Hutcherson's character. They added a lot of depth that, honestly, they didn't really need to add. They really could have just done for lack of a better phrase, copy and paste of the video game.
Which would be a really short fucking movie.
It would be. Well, I mean, you could add stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
But they changed the plot a lot to the point where it didn't feel like the video game, but it felt like the world of the video game. Again, I haven't played it. I've watched people play it. So my knowledge of it isn't the greatest, and pretty much only the first iteration of it. I haven't really seen any of the sequels or whatever you want to call them.
Same here, but with that being said, what is nice about finally making a movie of Five Nights at Freddy's is that the lore has been, I guess, so expansive now on what's going on, because before it was just a bunch of fucking animatronics trying to get your ass. Because you didn't shut that door fast enough, you dickhead.
There were no shutting of doors in this at all.
There was a door shut. There was actually two.
But it wasn't
shuts.
like the door shut.
No, it was not a big.
It wasn't
It wasn't a big honking door shutting down. But I mean, now there's a lot more lore, there's a lot more to go off of, and what they're doing. I don't know what that is. So, diehard fans of the series, you might not like this, depending on how that goes. But I thought anybody would really enjoy this movie.
Yeah, they took the lore, as you said, of the world, to my knowledge, again, not an expert in Five Nights at Freddy's, and expanded it to take place in the real world. That means getting rid of the stupid, you run out of power if you use it too much situation, because that's why is it not on the grid? If he wants to keep it open, why is it not still on the grid? And I know that that's just like a device for the game, but it wouldn't have worked in the movie.
Yes.
So they expand that world. They added more emotion to it, as I said before. Josh Hutcherson was actually pretty good in some parts. He wasn't really given a lot to work with, but the scenes he was given things to work with, he did a really good job. All the other acting, with the exception of Matthew Lillard, because he's a national treasure, was kind of flat a bit. I feel like it lacked a little bit. But again, it's a cheap horror movie based off of a horror game, so I'm not really expecting too much from that. So I can't really say anything other than I wasn't a fan of the video game. I liked this, but I'm not gonna rave about it, because it is just.
You did say one thing on the way out, which was a pretty intriguing way to put it.
I don't remember what it says.
This is Saul for kids.
Saul for kids, yes.
Basically, which is nail on the head, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if you know the video games, I remember, I forget which video game it is. They do have the trap inside the suit or whatever. I could be wrong. I feel like I remembered that. And they had that in this, and it especially in the beginning. This isn't in the beginning, so it's not really too much of a spoiler. A guy wakes up in a chair, and he's bound to the chair, and there's a Freddy Fazbear mask with Saul's coming towards his face, and that's when we're oh, they're doing Saul for kids.
Saul, baby.
So yeah, it had fun with the world it had. There were a lot of wholesome moments, a lot of pretty, for lack of a better word, artistic moments. I really can't think of a better word than that for that, but it's just, directions that I wasn't expecting from a movie like this.
Really hilarious moments with a lawyer.
Oh, the lawyer is the MVP of the movie.
He was great.
Yes. Without giving too much away, it is the most lawyer thing in the world, but he's terrified the entire time. And I do a lot of work with lawyers, so I know they really try to avoid being anywhere where people are incriminating themselves.
Yep.
So
it's I'm not supposed to be here.
I'm not supposed to be here. So I was just laughing. The teenagers behind us probably thought I was crazy, even though it was the funniest part. Whatever. I don't care what teenagers think about me. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's a fine movie. I don't think it's gonna wow anybody, but I didn't hate it. I liked it.
There's not too much you can also say without kind of spoiling a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that either.
Yeah,
So.
I am thinking that fans of the game will like it. Again, I'm not a fan of the game myself, so I don't know.
I think they should.
If you're wanting something to be like the exact kind of pace and mechanics of the game, you're probably going to be disappointed because it doesn't really have much other than like a few scenes where he's flipping through the cameras. It doesn't really have much of like the trying to stop the animatronics from moving aspect. So, yeah. None of that red light, green light shit.
It was one of the better video game movies, I'll say.
I mean, that's not saying much. But,
yeah, that's not saying too much, but
yeah.
But yeah, ka-chow.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say, so.
I look like a youth pastor, but I also almost accidentally completely dressed up like Shaggy, which was accidental.
Yeah. I dressed up like myself.
Shout out to you, Matthew Lillard, you handsome devil.
Matthew Lillard. Be in more, Matthew Lillard. I know that's not really up to you, but tell people to put you in more, because every time you're in something, I enjoy it.
Even Josh Hutcherson, I feel like he was good enough in this movie. I'm like, why the fuck is he not in more? I know he was in Hunger Games.
Well, I think
he's probably good.
He wasn't great in Hunger Games, and I really think that hurt him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because he is a decent actor. It's just, he wasn't really directed well in, or hadn't expanded his craft much.
That's PETA.
PETA, yeah, he painted a rock on his face. That movie's weird.
Is that the first one? He painted a rock.
Yeah, and then she kicks him. And he's like, "Ow!"
I haven't watched that in so long.
Yeah. Ratings?
I think I'd give it a 3. Honestly, it was a good time. I think it was it was average, but I think I was surprised enough to want to give it like a little bump above average.
I will also say a 3. It's like a hard 3. It's not going up or down.
No.
It's like, this is a 3. Leave it. Take it or leave it. Leave it or take it. And, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll never quit you, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
I might actually do a little deep dive in the Five Nights at Freddy lore a little bit. I'm not gonna go fucking crazy, but I'd like to understand a little bit more about the franchise.
I recognized a lot of stuff in the background just from watching like Markiplier videos.
And I wonder how much there is in the background of like where fans will be like, "Oh, that thingy."
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. If you saw Five Nights at Freddy's, tell us what you thought down in the comments. Which of the animatronics would you want to haunt? Would you want to haunt? I don't know. Which one would you want to haunt?
I don't know, the little doll that didn't get operated at all.
Yeah.
I want that one.
I would. I would be Freddy, because I feel like I'd fit in his suit the best.
I think the best animatronic at the end of the day was the lawyer.
Yes. I shouldn't be here. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.